welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marigold Manor. Full disclosure, this has to be my 20th time filming this intro. I don't know what it is, okay? Just something in the air is conspiring against me, but hopefully this one sticks. Hello friends, happy September. How are you guys? I feel like September is the quintessential transitional month where summer is like not technically over, but everyone's kind of over it. And so we're all rushing into the fall season and, you know, getting excited for all of the fall activities and the fall vibes and colors and spices. And I am not typically the person who starts celebrating fall at the beginning of September, but this year I just feel like this summer was such a letdown. Like it didn't give the summer vibes at all. Like it was very cold here for majority of the summer. I think I said in another video that this was like the coldest summer on record since 1982. Like it was just not giving what it needed to give. And so because of that, I feel like I'm just over it. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for just summer to be done because it was not, it didn't provide what it needed to. And so to that end, I want to do a bit of a soft launch of fall in today's video. So when I say soft launch, what I mean is that I want to start like preparing for fall, getting in the mindset, getting in the cozy vibes, maybe do a little baking, do a little simmer pot making, all of those sorts of things. We're not quite in, you know, complete fall mode, but we're slowly but surely getting there. So there is a apple cider donut recipe that I found in my newlywed cookbook that I really want to try and make. They look delicious. I love an apple cider donut. I feel like the way that some people feel about like pumpkin spice in the fall is the way I feel about apple cider in the fall and like apple cider flavored things. If you're from California, you might know about Apple Hill, which is an area up in Placerville that has all of these apple orchards and just like they have apple cider, apple juice, apple pie, apple fritters, like apple everything. And they also have a very famous apple cider donut. So people from all over the area, you know, drive up there to get the apple cider donut every year. So I wanted to try and make my own rendition and see if it can compete and compare. We're gonna do that. And then I also want to try and make some sort of like simmer pot or like a syrup, like an apple cider syrup that I can use in my lattes in the morning, so I can make my own seasonal drinks instead of spending $5 at Starbucks for it. That's what's on tap for today's video. Feel free to skip this next part to get to all of those fun fall activities, but I do have a special announcement that I wanted to share, and that is that, as you guys know, I have been working as a microflower farmer and a florist behind the scenes for the last year. I've been going to farmers markets, I've been working at a flower shop, and just getting better at my craft of floral design and just trying to become a better florist in general. Doing all of this with the goal of one day having my own flower shop, which of course I don't have right now, but I have decided that I'm going to go ahead and launch my flower delivery services through my brand of Wild Iris. So what that means is that if you are a Bay Area local and you want to order a bouquet from me, made by me, you now have the ability to do that on the website. So I will leave the link to that down below. Or if you want to send flowers to someone, if you want to do a flower subscription where we deliver flowers to your house or work or wherever once a week or once a month, that's an option as well. And I'm so excited about this. I feel so blessed that I took the time and that I had the ability and the privilege to take the time last year to think about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to create in the world, and that I sort of stumbled upon flowers in a way, because they have really brought me so much joy and so much peace and excitement in the last year and a half. So I'm so excited about that. If you are a Bay Area local, chime in down below. Let me know what city you're in and if you would be interested in having a bouquet made by me. And if so, then I will leave the link to order in the description box. So I wanted to just make that announcement. I'm very excited about that. And then another announcement that I wanted to make really quickly is that at the end of the month, I will be launching this season's issue of my digital magazine, Manor. So if you liked the summer issue, or if you weren't quite sure if you wanted to buy the summer issue, you wanted to wait till fall because it's a little bit more aesthetic, now's your time. It's gonna be coming at the end of this month. It will be filled with seasonal fall recipes, lifestyle tips, fashion, home decor, all of the things in digital magazine format, in magazine, formatting, which I, for one, love magazines. I'm so sad that like everything has gone digital for the most part, because I used to love flipping through magazines as a child and looking at like the SKU number and then matching it to the number in the back and like asking my mom if I could order something. Like I loved magazines, and so that's why I'm really excited to have this project as well. So lots going on over here at Marigold Manor and for the fall season, but I'm so excited, and I just really hope that you guys enjoy these offerings and that you take advantage of them as well. And yeah, so that's it for the announcements. Let's go ahead and make these donuts and see if they can compete with Apple Hill, which they probably will not. Okay, so like I said, these donuts are from my cookbook called The Newlywed Kitchen. I will link it in the description box below. I think that for a first try, this was a very good recipe. It was filled with lots of autumnal spices and flavors, and I do think that it was good for a first try. Do I think that it compares to the apple cider donuts at Apple Hill? Not quite. And there are other apple cider donut recipes that I have since seen online that I think I want to try until I find the perfect one. I do think that this is a great beginner recipe because it was really straightforward and just really easy to follow. But the donuts didn't have like that donutty texture. Like, when donuts are just like super pillowy on the inside, I don't know how to accomplish that. And this recipe did not necessarily accomplish that. Maybe I overcooked them. Maybe I let them sit in the oil bubbling away for too long. I'm not sure. I just feel that they weren't as pillowy and soft as they could have been, but they did have an amazing flavor. Now, I will say the donut holes were incredible. Myself, my husband, and my mother-in-law could not stop eating the donut holes. So those were really good, but the donuts themselves were a little tough. Maybe I worked the dough a little too much, I'm not sure, but they were so much fun to make. I think this would be a really fun activity to do with kids because I feel like donuts are something that like you don't typically make at home. So if you have little ones, I think this is a great fall treat to make and to enjoy with your family. For the apple cider. So I used just a quick recipe, and basically it just said that all I had to do was put the apples in a pot of boiling water and not core them or peel them, because you kind of like smush that out as it cooks down, and then the liquid is what you're left with, and that's the apple cider. This recipe used brown sugar, I think also cloves, and obviously cinnamon. I did leave it on the stove for too long, so it kind of turned into more of an applesauce, and I didn't get as much juice as I was hoping for, which ended up making it a bit more of like an apple cider syrup. So I think I can use this in different recipes throughout the season, or like at least for the next week or so. And I want to use it specifically in my coffee and maybe make like a tea out of it if I can somehow. I don't know. If you have any ideas of how I can use this very thick, delicious, tart apple cider concentrate, please leave them in the comments below. Okay, now I just want to show you a couple things that I picked up when I was at TJ Maxx yesterday. I did a little retail therapy because I had a bit of a rough day, and I ended up picking up 2 purses, which the purse situation, there's a whole story behind the purses, okay? And I will tell that story over on Patreon. I ended up with 2 purses. I'll probably end up taking the smaller one back because I didn't intend to buy 2 purses. But anyways, this is gonna be my fall bag. I'm so excited. I think that she is so cute and so pretty and just kind of the perfect fall bag. Like, it's gonna go with any fall outfit, right? Because like most fall pieces have browns and taupes and beige and all of those sorts of colors that'll go perfectly with this. I love this like zigzag pattern, and I just thought it was so great. So this was at TJ Maxx and it was $59.99. It was only $60. And I just thought it was really, really cute and that it would go with everything. So this is my first fall purchase. And here's the thing. Last summer when I was in Colorado with my in-laws, my mother-in-law and I went to TJ Maxx, and I was searching for a fall bag because I've never had a fall purse. Like, I'm not someone who's really into purses like that, so I've never had a piece that, like, I've never been like, oh, I want a bag for fall and a bag for spring and a bag for winter. Like, I've never been that person. But last summer I was looking through the TJ Maxx, and I think it was Boulder, and they had so many great fall bags, but I couldn't commit to any of them. So I'm happy because now this year, after I've had some time to think about it, I have landed on this bag, and I think that it's really cute, and I'm really excited to wear it this season. So here's the bag that I think I'm going to return. I did not, like I said, I did not intend to leave with 2 bags. I do like it. I do think that she's really cute and fun and funky. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I keep or should I return? It is cute, but I'm not like super in love with it, but it was an accident. I really did not mean to get 2 bags. So I'll probably end up returning this one. Or if any of you like it, I can mail it to you. But it's cute. She's got like this little leather fringe, faux leather fringe. It's very youthful, which I like, but I just don't know if it's my style, but it is cute. I also got a cute pair of little Oxfords. I think these are perfect. Oxfords, I did buy, I have one pair that I bought 2 years ago that are still hanging on, but I feel like they're kind of on their last leg. So I thought I would refresh and get these. These are size 6.5. I'm typically somewhere between a 6.5 and a 7, but they didn't have the 7, so I'm hoping I'll just like be able to stretch these out a little bit. These are super cute. These were $30. And I think they'll just go so well with like dresses, little skirts, any sort of outfit. I think these are really, really cute. And finally, your girl needed some new socks. So I thought, what better way to celebrate the fall season than by getting some fall socks. Oh, this one has a scary pumpkin on it. I didn't see that. But these have all these little different pumpkins on them. Like, look at this. So cute. These ones are bows, and these are plain. That's nice. Nice. Ooh, nice to have some plain socks. And then this has like a scary pumpkin on it. I didn't see that. I probably won't wear those. It's kind of scary. But yes, and then I got some socks. So that's my fall haul. Those are the outfits that you'll probably see me in quite often, and the pieces that I'm going to be wearing this fall. I think fall is one of my favorite seasons in terms of fashion and color palette. I love the browns, I love the burgundies, the maroons, the beige, like I love all of it. So I'm very excited for this season and for all the fashion that is to come. Also, before I move on from this, I want to show you guys the flower arrangement that I made yesterday. So basically what I want to start doing is posting my arrangements on my social media platforms more, just to show kind of like my portfolio, in case, like I said, any of you want to purchase any if you're local. And so I made one yesterday. It is fall themed, and I want to show it to you guys because I am quite proud of it. It took some time for me to figure out like the exact like design that I was going for, but I'm happy with how it ended up. So I want to show you, hold on. All right, here is our fall arrangement. I think that she looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. We've got some chocolate cosmos in here, some dahlias, lots of butterfly ranunculus, and we also used berries, which I thought was a really fun addition. So like I said, if you're in the area and you want a beautiful flower arrangement delivered to you, the Google form to order is going to be in the description box, and you will get something that looks a little bit like this for the fall season. It's getting late, but I thought it would be fun to discuss some of the books that I think would be good fall reads in case you haven't read them yet. I've read all of these books except for this one, which I'm reading right now, Demon Copperhead, but I was just going through like my little library and picking out books that I think would be solid fall reads. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that in the months of like September, October, November, I like to, mostly September, October, I like to read kind of eerie books, okay? It's a problem. I like things that are a little spooky. I like a murder mystery. I just like something that has like a question that has to be answered, anything like that. I think these would be, I think any of these would be a good fall read. And then typically when we get to like late November into December, I start switching over to like very happy, light, Christmassy content. So, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to go through all the books that I have read that I feel, not all of them, but honestly I just like picked these out randomly. The books that I have read, some of them that I think would be good for this season. And I'm not gonna like read the backs of all of them. I'll just give you a quick recap if I liked it or not, kind of what it's about, and yeah, and you can do your own research from there. So the first book on my fall reading list for you guys is Love of My Life, or The Love of My Life by Rosie Walsh. I have never read a book that has made me cry before until I read this one. Honestly, I don't know what it was. I'm not gonna read the back to you or anything, but like, there was just something about the story and how the story was told that was so raw and so emotional. Of course, there was a question that needed to be answered. There was like trying to figure out, you know, a mystery aspect. But when you get to the answer of the question, it just, I don't know, it was very heartwarming, written very well. And I remember, I think I read it in 2023, and I remember thinking, this is one of my favorite books. It's kind of a short read. I think it's like 358 pages, or 360 pages. I love this book, and I would definitely suggest it for the fall. Next is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. So this book, the reason why I even picked it up is it was in the recommended section at my local bookstore, and also it had a quote by Lisa Jewell that said, "A dazzling supernova of a book filled with heartbreaking twists and revelations." Now, I have read a few of Lisa Jewell's books. Some of them I really like, some of them we'll get to I'm like meh about. I read this one. Now this is scary, okay? I'm just gonna say it. This is a scary book. It's not scary with gore and guts. It's psychologically scary. After I read it, I felt like I needed to read something lighter. That's how deeply it impacted me. It is about a girl who disappears, and the story that unravels about her disappearance and her mom trying to figure out what happened. This one was a lot. So if you're not someone that can handle that sort of content, I would not suggest this. But if you are someone who likes the sort of like psychological, twisted mind sort of thriller, this is a good October book. Next, The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth. This one was interesting. I read this again. I think I read this in 2023. This one was lighter, but it did still have that like spooky energy because there was something going on and they were trying to figure out what it was that was going on and what happened to their mom, and you know, a lot, whatever. It's not scary. It's not like a psychological thriller, but it is a page turner, and for that reason, I do like it. The thing that I liked about this book was that it kind of had you questioning, like, if you thought what was going on was actually going on, and that is something that I kind of value in a book because I don't like things to be super straightforward, because then it's not like a page turner for me. So The Younger Wife, another good fall book. Okay, I read this years ago, The Party by Robin Harding. I think I picked it up because I'm pretty sure it was set in California. Like, I'm pretty sure it was set in like Atherton or someplace in the South Bay. Yeah, it is. Okay, and so whenever there's a book that's set here, I always want to read it because I want to know, like, I like to envision everything that they're talking about, and I like when I can relate to what they're talking about based on like the location and just like the descriptiveness of the setting. So this was set, I believe, in Atherton. Atherton is a it's real. I think it's Atherton. I don't remember. It might have just been San Francisco, but I want to say it was Atherton. Either way, it's set in like a very wealthy area in, I think, the South Bay and or San Francisco. There's a party. I read this a long time ago, but I do remember liking it a lot. There is a party. I want to say someone dies. I don't remember, honestly, but I do remember liking it, and I do remember it being a page turner. So, and again, this is just a random one that I picked up off my shelf, and I did like this one. So yeah, this is The Party by Robin Harding. This one I feel like is obvious. At this point, there's a show about it, Big Little Lies. We've all seen it, but if you haven't read the book, I would suggest reading the book because it is obviously, books are always better than the TV show or movie adaptations. This book was another page turner. It was really, really good. I can see why they turned it into a movie because it truly was like a very good book. And if you've watched the show, then you already know what the reveal is. But I remember, here's how impactful. I remember where I was when I like read the chapter that had the big reveal. I remember where I was. Like, that's how impactful it was. Like, you know, you remember where you were for certain moments in history, certain like important events. Like, again, I know where I was when I found out Michael Jackson died. Things like that. I remember where I was when I read the reveal in this book, because it was so good. And like, the reader did not see it coming. So if you have not read Big Little Lies at this point, I do suggest it, even if you have watched the show, because I do think that the book does a much better job at like setting up the story for you. So that's another recommendation I have. And then finally, another Lisa Jewell. None of this is true. I'm gonna be honest, not my favorite Lisa Jewell book. I was not thrilled with the end. I wasn't thrilled with where she took it. It kind of felt like, I don't know, it felt like she kind of threw away the ending a little bit. Like, I don't know. I think that there's I was talking about this with my friend who also read it, and we both were kind of like, like it wasn't, it had potential to be really good. Like, as you're reading it and you're like going through, you're like, oh man, like what's gonna happen, what's gonna be revealed, and then you kind of get to the end and you're like, oh. But that was just my reaction. Some people might have really liked it. I will say that it is a page turner. It is like a, you know, I mean, what is true, basically, kind of story. Like, you're trying to figure out the truth. It's very dark. Some of the themes in the book are very dark. But then, yeah, like when you get to the end, it's kind of like, huh. I thought that was going to be something that it wasn't. But I never really regret reading books, because I love the feeling of closing a book after I have read it. Like, it's just one of my top 10 favorite feelings. So I don't regret reading it, but I don't regret reading it at all. But just know that, like, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, but you might be. So this is another option. None of this is true by Lisa Jewell. And then finally, this is my book that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I'm reading this because my best friend, she said it was one of the best books she's ever read. And then my husband read it and he really liked it as well. And then when we were, I forget where we were somewhere. No, I was in Mendocino recently. Gosh, that took me a second. And there was a really cute bookshop, and I just picked it up just because it was kind of crowded. Mendocino is a very touristy area, so there was like a lot of people in the bookstore, and I was like, these aren't the vibes. So I just picked up something that I'd already heard of and started reading it, and it's very good. I'm only like a few chapters in, and it is very, very good. So I will report back with how much I like this one once I'm done, but yeah, I'm excited. I also had another friend who read this say that she had to stop reading at a certain part, and she was like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but like when you get to the part, you'll know. And she's like, text me when you get there. So I haven't reached that part yet, but yeah, I'm excited to finish this one. It seems like it's kind of like seems like a very sort of culturally important read. So there's some of my fall reading list suggestions. These are just books, like I said, they're just books that I saw on my bookshelf and was like, huh, that's a good one. Comment down below what you are reading this fall, some of your favorite colder weather books, because I'm gonna be looking for some after I finish this one. I feel like I haven't been doing a great job at picking, I've said this before, I haven't been doing a good job at picking books that are keeping my attention. This one is, but like there was another book I picked up, oh my gosh. There was a book I picked up, it was called The Paper Palace. I picked it up because it was on like Reese Witherspoon's her book club list. And so was Big Little Lies. So I, had faith. I think this was on Reese's, or maybe it was on Oprah's, I don't remember. But I had faith in Reese. And I was reading it, and because it was hard for me to like stay focused reading it, I started reading it out loud to my husband at night, like before we went to bed, and he would be like, please stop, this is so bad. Like neither of us liked that book. So I just have not had the best luck in choosing books that are keeping my attention. I know you guys had some recommendations when I mentioned this before, but please drop them in the comments again, because yeah, I've not been doing a great job. That is it for this video, my friends. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying all of the September energy, the September vibes, the early fall vibes, and yeah, I will see you in another video very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. That just helps me to grow this channel and to grow this platform that I love so much and that I love sharing with you guys. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider it. And I will see you guys in the next one.